Hello friends, welcome to youtube.com and our Dr. Vet channel. I am Dr. P.R. Patel, Professor Head Veterinary Medicine. We have already seen two parts on canine distemper. Here we will see details of part 3, in that pathogenesis, clinical pathology and postmortem reasons of canine distemper. This is very important viral disease of dog. In this presentation, we will discuss pathogenesis. The virus enters in body through inhalation of aerosol droplets. The virus has got tropism to mostly epithelial cells of gastrointestinal tract and respiratory tract. That tropism to epithelial cell is great. There is invasion of pharynx, tonsils, macrophages, lymphoid vessels and blood vessels. Important thing is that the virus initially replicates in lymphatic tissue of respiratory tract. A cell associated viremia is observed. Here the viremia is not free in blood, but the viremia is cell associated. This results in infection of all lymphatic tissue. So for canine distemper, it is very important that it first initially affects the lymphatic tissue and it causes lymphopenia. We continue here the pathogenesis part. Lymphopenia is the distinct feature of the distemper, but it is not always characteristic. About after 7 days, the virus settle and proliferate in epithelial cells because this virus has tropism for the epithelial cells. There is infection of respiratory tract, gastrointestinal tract, urogenital epithelium, skin, central nervous system and optic nerves. And due to these various types of infection, there are various forms of the disease: pulmonary form, gastrointestinal form, central nervous system form, cutaneous form and ocular form. This virus replicate in these tissues and they produce pathology in these organs. The degree of viremia and extent of viral spread to various tissue is moderated by the level of specific humoral immunity during this viremic period. So for manifestation clinical signs, this level of humoral immunity, antibody level, is very much important. Continuation of pathogenesis. About after a week or 9 days, some dog develop a neutralizing antibody, and that is important for a dog. Those dogs will survive, and those dogs fail to develop the antibody may die. Friends, remember this canine distemper virus causes immunosuppression and it invites many secondary infections. This is due to decreased resistance and many diseases may occur: bacterial diseases, toxoplasma infection, mycoplasma infection, and coccidia infection. The most important bacterial disease that is commonly occurring along with canine distemper is a canal cough that is caused by Bordetella bronchoseptica. This is very important disease, and this disease is manifested by pneumonic signs, severe coughing, dyspnea, and severe depression, high temperature. Another important bacterial disease occurring is Salmonella infection, and it causes a severe catarrhal or hemorrhagic enteritis. Even it may be a uh, feces with blood is observed, and it causes a severe dehydration. And due to invitation of these two bacterial disease, the mortality increases due to canine distemper. The bacteria are also occur when there is pustules on the skin of the abdomen and inside of the thigh. That is also the characteristic for identification of this disease. So three bacterial diseases are invited here and found along with canine distemper. One is a canal cough, second thing Salmonella enteritis, and third pustules on the skin of the abdomen. We continue here the pathogenesis. This canine distemper virus causes progressive demyelination of central nervous system, especially neurons. And this occur when there is a chronic case. Remember, in the chronic case, the symptoms of canine distemper are different from that of acute case. So it causes chronic progressive demyelination of neurons, and there is onset of the neurological signs, and these are the delayed signs, and these signs will remain for few weeks to few months. One important thing we have discussed in clinical finding is ODE, that is the old dog encephalitis, that is observed in old dogs. There is encephalitis, and this is the chronic case of canine distemper. Of course, it is a rare form of canine distemper and a manifestation of chronic viral infection. And this occurs even after years of latent brain infection. This old dog encephalitis is observed even if the dog is vaccinated against canine distemper. The clinical signs are the result of necrosis of the cerebral gray matter. There is a severe mental disorder and death may occur. We have already seen the clinical findings in the previous presentation. In this presentation, we will see clinical pathology. The clinical pathology is a non-specific one. From this, diagnosis of canine distemper is difficult. Lymphopenia is the most common finding, but lymphopenia is also observed in many viral diseases. Viral inclusion bodies in circulating leukocytes, that is important finding in very early case or course of the canine distemper disease. The thoracic radiograph may show an interstitial pneumonia, that is the diagnosis of viral pneumonia, but it is not a specific one. In this presentation, we see postmortem lesions. There is congestion of brain and meninges. Very important finding is thymic atrophy. Thymic atrophy means reduction in the size of thymus, and this is a consistent postmortem finding especially young puppies. Friends, remember important postmortem finding is the thymic atrophy. There are pneumonic changes in the lung, especially interstitial pneumonia. Common finding is the bronchopneumonia, and another common finding is the catarrhal or hemorrhagic enteritis. Continue the postmortem lesson. We know that this virus has affinity to epithelial cells, epitheliotropic virus. So there is hyperkeratitis in the nose and footpad. Another finding is presence of pustules on the skin of ventral abdominal and inside of the thigh. Intracytoplasmic and intranuclear inclusion bodies in the epithelium of respiratory, urinary, and gastrointestinal tract. This is also a common finding. Lesions in the brain are neuronal degeneration, gliosis, non-inflammatory demyelination. There is perivascular cuffing and non-suppurative leptomeningitis. Friends, canine distemper is very important disease. Request to share this information to veterinary officers and veterinary students. To support and to promote the channel, requested to subscribe this channel. Thank you very much for observing this video.